In today's episode, near misses,
Ow!
nettles,
Ow!
mad cyclists, and lunch.
So there's a video about a walk from Stutton, or just outside Tadcaster, across the A64, as you can see here, through the back of Stutton village, up to Hazelwood Castle and beyond. There you go, a couple of signs there, get your bearings. Tadcaster, edge of Tadcaster. So this is a fabulous walk. I'd actually lived in Tadcaster for about 5 years before I found out about this walk. There we go, hello. That's looking over to Stutton, Sugar Hill Gang. And we end up back here in 2.5, 3 hours. How's everything with you? This is the old schoolhouse that used to serve the village of Stutton, and we end up round the other side of this building a bit later on, at the end of the walk. So as I say, fabulous countryside, and it was a particularly nice day today, which always helps. But it's just that time of year, isn't it, where everything's just in bloom. Local dignitaries, look here. Morning, girls. How are they doing? Sorry, no milk today. My lover's gone away. This is White Quarry Cottages and White Quarry Farm backs onto here. Known a few people that have rented those properties over the years. Great spot. And this is Chantry Lane heading up towards Hazelwood. You'll see in a second a farm in the distance, farmhouse, and they're currently selling eggs, and you can see that farm right across the valley. So when we're on the Towton walk a little bit later on, I'll kind of intercut the view across the valley to see this house. There you go, eggs for sale, free range. And this is where this chap's going now. This road goes back up to the A64, and this is a crossroads where, there he goes, look, that road goes up to Hazelwood, that goes down to a couple of houses, people that I know. And here we go, this is the walk up to Hazelwood. There's been a bit of fly tipping recently here. Hazelwood in the distance there, and Castle Barn Farm. And this is where we hang a left through a couple of farmhouses, ultimately to the Lead Church and to the Crooked Billet. This bit of road always reminds me of that bit in Gladiator where he's heading back towards his villa, where it's tree lined. A little bit like it, isn't it? So this is where you go through the first farmhouse. It is a public footpath, it is a public bridleway. I almost feel a bit on edge. That's just been done up, that house. It's amazing. Morning, little fella. How are you? And then heading out now towards Lead Church. Oh, there he is. This road, you can see to the right, there's Hayton Wood that backs onto Robertford and the A1. And we are Jet 2 heading to Lanzarote. Brilliant. This is the second farm that you go through. As I say, it always kind of puts me on edge a bit. I always feel a bit guilty, but they're very nice people. Just don't linger. And you probably, that's the farm. It's just turning around now, and you probably hear me puffing and panting. Let's go up this hill. Now that ultimately goes back to the main road, and then we hang a right here now. Sorry to keep saying hanging. And this road, footpath, leads to the Lead Church, famous Lead Church, built in 1150. And then the Crooked Billet. And we're going to go over the top behind the Crooked Billet to Saxton, and then join the Towton Battlefield. There we go, dog's eye view, Labrador's eye view there, look. And I think something was going on here. I'm trying to do my fake drone shot here, look. Something was going on. There'd been an accident or something. There's a bit of a black spot for motorcyclists here. So there were police and I think maybe even an ambulance. You see we get around this corner. This has got these two gates. This one coming in and coming out are the squeakiest gates. And you just see the Lloyd Church here. There you go. That's been built relatively recently, that house. I think it was built on the footprint of an old farmhouse. This is Lloyd Church, built 1150, the current version of it, though there's been a church from there a long time. I think then restored in 1932 from memory, and looked after by local residents. Every now and then, maybe every 10 years, a bit of work's done on it to tidy it up. People come and think it's locked, but there's a bit of a trick to it, as you'll see. And when you walk in, you can feel and smell the history. Yeah, there you go, 1932. Now, there's no lighting in here, and it is used. There's definitely been a funeral here whilst I've lived in Tadcaster, and there's definitely been a wedding here whilst I've lived in Tadcaster. I can only assume, well, nobody's going to plan when the funeral happens, are they? But I can only assume if you're planning a wedding, you're going to do it at this time of year when it's really light. And I would imagine when it's fully decorated, it looks fabulous. Bit of what you call old school charm there, that pulpit, isn't it? So there you go, you can kind of see the Crooked Billet through the window there. There you go. It is in amazing condition, to say how isolated it is. And the fake drone shot for you. It's just a long stick. Worth a visit. There was a bull in this field briefly, fenced off, but he was an aggressive fella, and he would come racing up to the fence. And like, warning sign there, look. And that's the Crooked Billet. Crooked Billet's run by a lady who I know called Laura Charles. Laura Charles is the granddaughter of John Charles, a famous footballer who moved from Leeds United to Juventus, I think, 1959, 1960. That gate. Came back to Leeds United, I think, 1962, could be wrong, and then transferred to Roma shortly thereafter. Let's see here, look, that's the map for Towton Battlefield, so that tells you where we're going. Well, you won't, unless you've reached Fred, but you won't see it. So they're open from 9 AM for breakfast. Definitely worth a visit. Fantastic beer garden, dog friendly, hiker friendly, muddy boots friendly. We're going to walk up the side of the billet and on the public footpath over to eventually Saxton. And you've got to walk on the road a little bit, which is a bit nerve-wracking when it's single track road, and you really got to have your wits about you. And that's looking back down that path. This is kind of the route we've come, really, over the tops there. There we go. Labrador eye view again there. Really amazing, and look. And this is out on the road to Saxton. I can feel a cyclist coming at this point. Ring that bell. Such lovely people. And this seat used to face one way, but obviously when the crops are high, as they are at the moment, you couldn't see a lot. Then there's bench. So this is, I had to switch to iPhone. I'm using Action Cam, but I had to switch to my phone at this point because my battery went. So that's kind of lucky. That's the way we've come. It's a bit difficult to make out from there. And this is kind of across Saxton. We're at now, and this is Saxton Cricket Club. This must be one of the most beautiful cricket clubs in the whole of north of England. Look at it. It's amazing. Superbly well maintained. Regular matches. Definitely worth a visit. Good parking as well, by the way. You're not stressing over parking. There's a full field to park. That's a new property that's just been built. This one next door, this white one, I used to, when I was a kid, I used to think like somebody like Peter Sellers or Eric Morecambe lived in that kind of house. Loads of building going on here. That used to be a pub when I was a kid. That was the Plough. Can you imagine? That's a new build, recent build there. Couple for sale. They go for big bucks, as you would imagine, in this village. Very nice place. And this is the Greyhound pub, one of Humphrey Smith's pubs. So it's open for about 20 minutes a week. No, it's not actually. So quite a lot. Very picturesque place. It was, when I was a kid, it was a very run down place, as a lot of the villages were. So Aberford was very run down when I was a kid. Bramham was very run down now, but given the transport links, they're really sought after villages now. Really pretty places. Oh, nearly got savaged by a dog here. Here they come. We're going to a devil worshippers meeting. And that's a view back over the village of Saxton. Very nice place. And we've got to join the main road again now. I've got to walk on the main road, which is the same with tractors and motorbikes and people looking at their iPhones instead of the road. You've really got to have your wits about you. So I'm walking the road there, look, but I do actually try and get the other side of the trees, which doesn't work out too well. Got my shorts on.
Ow. Ow. Ow.
So heading out now, we're just back up to, well, not back up to, we've not made it so far. We're on the Towton Battlefield and I'm going to run over there, look. And here we are, famous battlefield. Definitely worth a visit. It's probably only about an hour. You know, to walk around is probably less than an hour. And there's the original monument there. Potato cropping, I'll have to come back later on the year. And that's the farm that we walked through earlier on. I cut to it, a little cut in dent there. I put my lunch off to the last kind of third. So here we go, that's a good lunch swap. Pushing the boat out there with half a penguin. There he is now, he's going to demonstrate how to eat your lunch, look now. Yeah, you missed your way, boy. That was a hell of a, it was a hornet or something like that. So this is the Towton Battlefield. Look at that, how pretty is that though? Loads of signage explaining the troops pouring across the fields, and it's good. It's a good walk, it's nice. There's a few steep parts, not wheelchair friendly unfortunately. Well, that's the farm where the eggs were for sale there. Look, I'm going to cut into it there. Here you go. That might be boring to some people. That's Hazelwood Castle in the distance there, and that's the back of White Quarry Cottages that we passed. And that's a barn I'm going to walk past in a minute. So it's a circular route. Look at that for a view. And I'm going to walk down that path in a second, down the beck. That's good old Tadcaster in the distance, the breweries. So here we go now towards the stream stroke river. It's a river in winter and a stream in summer. And then just past here, I heard somebody shout my name. I stopped dead. There you go. Somebody shouted my name twice. So strange. Never saw anybody. And this is the side of the disused quarry where the limestone came from. And it's a bit of a bad spot. A lot of dogs go scurrying to the edge. And I know at least 2 that have gone over. Very sad because it's a steep drop. And we're back kind of where we started here. There's some of Humphrey Smith's sculptures, the stones. Standing stones. This loops back towards the schoolhouse. There we go, you can kind of see it in the distance. And that's the Towton Battlefield from across the valley there where we just walked. That's the back of the schoolhouse. So we walked on that other road to this side of it. This kind of forms a V around the house. And we're heading back now the road we went up, I think, knocking on 3 hours ago to do that route, and maybe even nearly 4 hours, I think it is, because I think it's 14 miles. Don't know what that is in metric. Beautiful place, worth a look, but be careful in the farmyards. Please comment, like and subscribe. It helps us a lot and it's completely free.
Captain, rented dates.